I'm Chef Leslie Newton. Welcome back to Lala Cooks. One of the easiest yet most flavorful soups to make is one of my favorites, leek and potato. It's a great way to showcase local ingredients that you can easily get from your neighborhood farmer's market. Living in the DC area, I'm close to many great farmers markets, and I was able to pick up some fresh leeks and potatoes this week at DuPont Circle despite the rain. It's great to have an easy go-to recipe for the colder months of the year. I love using leeks for a more subtle onion flavor. This is also a perfect recipe to use some of that chicken stock that you made immediately after watching the stock episode of Lala Cooks, right? The possibilities are endless as far as the garnish for this dish is concerned. Chopped chives are traditional, however, anything that creates texture, such as fried garlic chips, is a great addition to your soup. Feel free to use your imagination and try some of your favorite ingredients. So remember, for fresh, healthy, and sustainable foods, shop local. We're going to start off by chopping about 4 leeks. There's no precise measurement of the cut here. You're going to be pureeing this later, so it's not too important. I'm cutting only the white and light green parts, and you can use the rest for stock later. Next, we're going to cut the potatoes, and once you peel them, put them in water so they don't oxidize and turn color. I'm cutting the potatoes in medium-sized chunks. The size you cut them determines how long they will take to cook, so we don't want them too big. We only want to cook this soup for about 45 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender. You can use any potatoes you want. Idaho or Yukon Gold work great for this soup. After you cut the leeks, you want to soak them in water. This helps clean them and remove the sand that is usually in the leeks. So now we're going to add some butter and also olive oil to your pot. I like the butter for flavor, and the oil ups the smoke point because the butter burns quicker. You want your heat on medium. First, you're going to remove the leeks from the water and strain them. Make sure you've removed most of the water. Too much water will cause the oil to pop when you add the leeks. We want to sweat the leeks for a few minutes until they become soft. We're going to add some salt to remove some of the moisture from the leeks, and we want to stir them around to coat them in the butter and oil. When the leeks are soft, we'll add the potatoes and stir them around for a minute, getting them nice and coated as well. Now we'll add the chicken stock. I'm adding the stock I made from the first episode, and again, it's so easy, not to mention healthy and affordable, to use homemade stock, but if you must, add store-bought stock. You can also substitute vegetable stock here if you're a vegetarian and don't want the chicken stock. Next, we'll add 1 bay leaf and a few sprigs of thyme, which I'm removing from the stems. This is very easy to do. Just hold one end of the sprig and slide your finger down to remove the leaves. I don't need to chop them because we're going to blend this soup later. I'm adding a little bit of white pepper here as well. I'm adding white pepper because if I added black pepper, you'd be able to see it in the finished product. Once the soup comes to a boil, we'll turn it down to a gentle simmer and then cover. We're going to let it cook for about 45 minutes or until the potatoes are fork tender. Now that the soup is ready, we're going to blend it. I'm using an immersion blender, which I love for making soups or salad dressings. They're reasonably priced if you're thinking of picking one up, but if not, no worries. You can put the soup in the blender. Just use a measuring cup and blend the soup in batches and put back into a pot. If you want a smoother soup, you can strain the soup after you blend it. Once you're done, you want to taste the soup to see if it needs more salt, and then add more if you choose. Next, we're going to add a little cream. You can certainly leave this out, but I think it adds a lot to the flavor and richness of the soup. For my garnish, I'm using some chive oil, which I've made by adding chopped chives to a food processor with some salt and olive oil. I also made a little design with it, and this is the perfect place to get creative and add whatever you think would taste good here. Use your imagination. I hope you enjoy this leek and potato soup. It's one of my favorites, and it's a perfect way for you to use some of those great vegetables that you picked up from your local farmer's market. As we say here on Lala Cooks, mangez bien.